Okay, in previous videos, we talked about lists and sets. Now we'll talk about tuples. So as a review, remember we had our list, and we start off with a list. We use the square brackets. So we can do, let's say, a list of apple, banana, and maybe an orange. So this is a list. So your list can have duplicates, it's ordered. Next, we have our sets. Sets are grouped with curly brackets. And again, you can also have the same contents inside, such as apple, banana, and orange. The only difference is that sets cannot contain any duplicate items and it is unordered, meaning you cannot specify the order in which you are storing the items inside the set. The next item is called a tuple. So we call this a tuple. Tuples are created using parentheses. Okay. Now, tuples are similar to sets and lists. The only difference is, so tuples are ordered, similar to lists, which you can place the items in a specified order that you prefer, but tuples cannot be modified. Okay, they are unchangeable. You cannot go into an item and then change it. So let's say we have a tuple here, and let's put in the same thing. We can do apple, banana, and orange. So let's do a print. Oops. Let's print my list. Let's also do a print of my set. And let's do a print of my tuple. You notice how the enclosing symbol is different. We got a square bracket, we got a curly bracket, and then we have the parentheses. So you can access the same thing with the tuples. If I could say print my tuple, and I provide it with an index, let's say an index of 1, which would be banana. So run that, and I get my banana. Now, I said it cannot be modified. So if I try to do this, my tuple, and I say 1, and I replace that with a kiwi, I'm going to get an error. Okay, because notice tuple object does not support an item assignment. So the moment you place it inside the tuple, it cannot be modified anymore. Now, why would you want to do this? For certain items that you have the user input, for example, or you're storing it in a database, and you want to make sure it's consistent and the items are always inside, you can use a tuple. Now, where would this be good? Let's say you're using math and you want to have a set of coordinates. So let's say you can have a coord variable, and then let's create a tuple, and then we can say the tuple is 10 comma 15. So this is similar to saying x comma y, for example. So if we print our coord, you'll see we have 10 and 15. Now, if you want to apply this to a certain set of variables, we can actually unpack this and say x comma y, and you can say coord. Then now, if we, let's say print, and we say x is, and we'll do x, and we'll do print y is, and then we'll do y. Oops, sorry about that. And you notice we have x is 10 and x is 15. So similarly, in up here, if we go back up here, our tuples, so we have our apple, banana, and orange. We said that we can do duplicates as well. So even if we go back down here and just do print my tuple, so we have apple, banana, orange, and we can insert into the tuple. So if you want to be able to insert into a tuple, we simply use the append as well. But the append method, since tuples cannot be modified, so remember that we have this already, apple, banana, orange, we cannot add into it. So for example, I cannot do this. My tuple append, And then similar how we did this to list, and then we say kiwi, we're going to get an error because tuples cannot be modified. So one technique that other people are doing, so we can do, let's say, my tuple. Let's print this so that we know what we're dealing with. So say print my tuple. Now, what you could do, so we have that, you can actually convert this and say tuple list. Convert this, remember our type casting. So let's change the my tuple, oops, into a list. So watch once I print the tuple list now. Notice how the enclosing items are different. It could change from the parentheses to a square bracket. Now, from here, I can actually now say tuple list, and I can say append, and let's add kiwi inside. And then after that, we bring it back and say my tuple is equal to tuple of tuple list. Oops. And let's print my tuple. Notice how we have the parentheses here, convert that to a list, so we have the square bracket. From there, we appended into it, and then we convert it back to a tuple, and now we have the modified tuples. So tuples are good when you want to be able to store variables that don't need to be changed. Okay, for now, we'll finish here as tuples. Um, we'll discuss dictionaries in the next lesson. I'll see you then.